2026. In numerology, 2026 equals to 1. That means 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals to 10. And then the total of 10, that is 1 plus 0 equals to 1. So in today's video, we are going to discuss how one candlestick can change the way you trade. This strategy is very simple. Although it uses only one candlestick, but the strategy is so simple that it can really help you to trade very well. The strategy avoids overcomplication. The strategy is purely based on support and resistance at a higher time frame and one candle that is basically an engulfing candle that becomes your trigger candle for either a buy or a sell trade. In this trade, the stop loss area is extremely clear. You will never get confused because your stop loss in a buy will be below the support zone and your stop loss in a sell will be above the resistance zone. It's very simple. New traders can go with 1:2 risk to reward ratio, and professional traders can go with the market structure. But initially, I would always suggest that you go with 1:2 or maybe 1:1.5 risk to reward ratio. Now, this strategy can be used for scalping, intraday, swing trading, as well as long-term trading. But today I'm going to focus on scalping. Yes, I know I normally do not promote scalping because scalping has its own drawbacks. Like number one, you have to be in front of the screen. And since you're in front of the screen, you can get greedy and try to enter into trade setups which are not your A++ setups. This can cause you for over trading, which you want to avoid totally. But if you are a disciplined trader and you can follow your discipline, then 101% there is nothing wrong in scalping, provided you have the time to sit in front of the screen. Second, since you will be spending so much time in front of the screen, you need to have that much equity because you can't do anything else. So you need to have a lot of equity so that when you win money, it should be enough to take care of your expenses. Because otherwise, then you will be dependent on the income that is coming from trading. And if the equity is not big enough, then you will try to overtrade, trying to get into trades which are not A++ setups to recover money from the trading business. So it's very important that you understand these things. Number one, the time. Number two is your screen time. Number three is not getting too greedy. Number four is having enough equity so that when you win, you have enough money coming from your trading business. Scalping also means that you need to have good control on your mind. So you need to focus on your health and your body and your mind. So in the mornings, going for walks, meditations, spending time with your family, socializing with friends when it's not trading time, all these things are very important. There are other drawbacks when it comes to scalping. You're not trading for long price movements. So your spreads will be high and you'll be paying a lot of brokerage to your broker. So getting into accurate trades is very important when you're scalping. But there are some advantages also. Every time you enter a trade, your stop loss is fixed. So your risk is limited in every single trade. You are very clear. Unless you enter into a trade without putting a stop loss. And I hope that you will never do that, especially after looking at my videos. A trade without a stop loss is a suicide. It's a signal to blow out your account. How much ever stop loss is hit, put your stop loss because that is going to protect your equity. Very important. If you have the equity, you are in the game. If you don't have your equity, you're out of the game. And if you're out of the game, you can never recover your amount. You have to be in the game to make your money back. Now, the strategy which I'm going to tell you today is basically a single candle entry strategy. Here we are looking at candlestick patterns like Marubozu, engulfing candlestick pattern, or even an hammer, okay, for a bullish trade entry. So it's very important that you understand that what a candle means. So a candle basically has 4 points. There's the opening point, there is a high point, there is a low point, and then there's a closing point. The entry candle for a bullish trade, the open should be low and the closing should be high. The tail at the bottom or the tail at the top or the wick or the shadow at the bottom or top should be short. If it is longer at the bottom side, it's still okay. But try to avoid a long wick on the top because it shows that there is some rejection that is happening. But if the candle size is pretty big, then it's okay. Because if the candle size is big, it's a good green candle for a bullish trade that clearly shows that the bulls were in control for that particular time frame. So understanding a candlestick is very, very important. Now let's understand the single candle entry strategy. The best part about this strategy is it can be used in any financial instruments, stocks, indexes, forex, commodity, crypto, wherever you want it. This works, but this does not mean that you are not going to put your stop loss. Sometime it might not work. So you have to make sure that you put your stop losses in place. Now let's understand the strategy step by step. Step number 1. If you're going to use a 5-minute time frame for your entry, then a 1-hour chart would be a good time frame to look for your support and resistance zones. So make sure that you draw your support and resistance zones on a 1-hour chart. So when you're looking at a 1-hour chart, the first thing that you have to look is for the price making a specific type of movement. What is the movement? The price has to make a low and then it has to make a higher low. So when the price starts making a higher low, your first job is to draw a trend line. Once you draw a trend line, then you know that you are looking for an entry point above that trend line. After that, you have to look for resistance zones because this resistance zone later is going to get converted into a support zone and your area for entry for a bullish trade. So step number 2 is to draw a resistance zone when you find a good resistance zone. Never force a resistance or a support zone into your charts. It has to be very, very clear. Now, once you've drawn the resistance zone, then you wait for the price to break the resistance zone and then for the price to come back and test that resistance zone. At this point, your resistance zone has now become converted into a support zone. Now, once the price reaches the support zone, next step, move from a 1-hour chart into a 5-minute chart. Now, when you look at a 5-minute chart, you might get confused. That's the reason that you have to draw your resistance zone, which has now got converted into a support zone in a proper way, so that you know when the price reaches this support zone, you know that this is where you're going to enter into a trade. Because in a 5-minute chart, this will look as if you're going into a downtrend, a bearish trend. So you have to be very, very clear in your mind that this is where you're going to enter into your bullish trade. Once the price reaches this support zone, then you have to look for a bullish candle. Like you can see over here, there's a very good bullish candle. Now there is a tail or a wick or a shadow on the top side of the candle, but it's okay because the candle itself is really huge. You can see that the green part is really, really big. This clearly shows that the bulls took control from this support zone. And this is where you are going to plan your entry. As soon as this candle time is over, you put your trade and you put your stop loss below this support zone with a minimum risk to reward of 1:2, like you can see over here. And you can see very, very clearly that the price quickly moved in the direction of the trade and you hit your target. So this was a A++ setup. I know it's a cherry-picked setup, but to explain a concept, that's the best way to do. While you are trading, you have to be careful. You have to look up at the setups in a proper way and make sure that you are convinced. Also journal your entry. What are you seeing in the chart? So that if a trade hits your stop loss, you know where you went wrong. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult to remember all the trades, how you entered it. Okay, so try to journal every single entry before you enter into a trade or once you enter immediately, because you should be able to visualize what you saw on the chart while entering the trade. Now, since this was a A++ setup, you can see that the price continued in the bullish direction and you could have taken a bigger profit. But as I said, your goal was 1:2, you achieved it, you come out of the trade. Very, very simple. Now, if you want to enter into a bearish trade, it is exactly the mirror image of what I explained in the bullish trade. Once the price starts making lower highs, you draw a trend line and then you look for support zones. You draw your support zone and you wait for the price to break the support zone and come back to retest this support zone. Now the support zone has got converted into a resistance zone. At this particular resistance zone, you are looking in a lower time frame for a good engulfing candle, which is a bearish candle. Okay, a bearish Marubozu, a bearish engulfing candle, or a bearish shooting star. Okay, that is what you're going to look at this particular resistance zone. Like you can see in this 5-minute chart, a perfect candle was created over here. Immediately you enter at the end of the candle and you put your stop loss above the resistance zone. You keep your target as 1:2 and you can see how easily the price went and hit your target. So this setup, which I have explained, is a A++ setup. Every single time you're not going to get it like this. But this is where, as a trader, you have to make your judgment while entering a trade. This is very, very important. That is why experience is equally important in trading. So just by learning the strategy, you cannot become a successful trader. You have to implement the strategy. You have to practice the strategy minimum 100 times. Do paper trading. Do not invest your hard-earned money in the first trade itself. Get convinced that this strategy is a good strategy. So all you need is discipline, patience, practice, and persistence, along with risk management. When you put all these things together along with your strategy, that's when you're going to become a successful trader. So 2026 equals to 1. That's the reason I have brought this one candle scalping trading strategy for you. So I hope this explanation has made it very, very clear that how this single candle entry strategy can help improve your trading styles. Now, every single person will have a different kind of trading style. You don't have to copy anybody. But before you enter, you have to be sure yourself that your trading style is going to give you profits. You have to be convinced. That's when you become a successful trader. So, friends, if you love the way I'm creating these videos, kindly like this video. And if you really think that this small explanations can help your friends to improve their trading, then kindly share this video with them too. So like you, they can also improve their trading. And if you wish to leave a comment, or if you want to tell me something, please leave a note in the comment section. I do read your comments, and if I think a reply is needed, I surely reply to them too. Friends, I have seen that almost 75% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. It would be great if you could subscribe to my channel and click on that bell icon. This way, every time I post a new video, you will get to see that video. And of course, every time I see a new subscriber, it really motivates me to create more such videos for you. And friends, I do not want to sign out before saying the golden words. Keep learning, keep growing, keep getting better every single day. Thank you. Namaskar.